the directors of the actual football games were fine. The opening and closing ceremonies directors found it a bit different, the fact that they couldn't sort of wander out to the pitch and say, oh no, you guys, you're going to have to walk around here, because the director for the opening ceremony, which took place in Auckland, was sat in the NEP hub, and likewise the director for the closing ceremony. So that was a bit of an education curve for them, but not so much for the actual sports directors who, through the NRL, etc., that are used to more of that remote production. I think one of the reasons FIFA was keen to use that is because coming up to the Men's World Cup, the next one in 3 different countries, Mexico, Canada and the US, they will have, I would assume, mini IBCs, but I think they're looking at remote production for all of the men's matches. So that it's obviously a cost-effective way of doing things. I also think NEP signed up with HBS. There was all this multiple layered. HBS were the host broadcast suppliers for us and FIFA in general. And then they subcontracted out to NEP. In hindsight, except NEP probably wouldn't have been very happy about that, but would have made more sense to perhaps put the IBC in closer to NEP, maybe in their car park, take over their car park for a while, as opposed to that, again, another tyranny of distance, another fibres that could be jeopardised between the NEP hub and the IBC at Homebush.
But latency wasn't an issue?
No, it wasn't actually. I was surprised in that respect, but no, it wasn't. It was milliseconds. It wasn't anything more than that.
So with the different time zones, how did you manage that? Essentially,
well, I mean, the matches were played at a sensible time, shall we say, in each area. So I mean, it was a 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon, or a 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock kickoff in the evening at each location. So from an actual on-ground crew scenario, it was fine. It did lead to some sort of later into the night directing stints for people for matches that were coming out of Perth. And also from a draw point of view, because you have to have your round of 16 matches played at the same time. So in theory, back in the good old bad old days when you didn't have mobile phone connectivity and all that sort of stuff, that one team could throw a match to make sure that they can beat X team in the semi-final. So they all traditionally are all played at the same time. So we would have strange things like a 2 o'clock game in Perth and an 8 o'clock game in Auckland, because they coincided at the kick-off times at the same time. So that was why some of those times were a bit different. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're going to sit there and direct them at what time of day it is.